China and the Philippines are considering having talks on their conflicting claims to parts of the South China Sea. On Tuesday, the Permanent Court of Arbitration rejected China's historical claim to most of the South China Sea. The court made its ruling based on the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. The court in The Hague, the Netherlands, is an international organization that seeks to resolve disputes between nations. Both China and the Philippines are members. On Tuesday, Philippine Foreign Secretary Perfecto Yasay called the PCA ruling an important contribution. Chinese officials, however, questioned the PCA's fact-finding process. They say the court does not have the authority to make a ruling, and they have said they would prefer bilateral talks to resolve the country's issues related to the South China Sea. Wang Yi, China's foreign minister, spoke after the PCA released its decision. He said the Philippines had recently made statements that showed a willingness to continue talks about the South China Sea. Such negotiations could help prevent threats of war. They could also make the waters between the two countries safer for commercial use on both sides, especially for Philippine fishermen. And they could help China repair its image as a bully in the South China Sea dispute. Many Filipinos cheered the PCA ruling, which said China had violated Philippine rights to use waters off its west coast. But some Filipinos also expressed fear. They worried China would ignore the ruling and make things harder for Philippine fishing boats in disputed waters. Their concerns increase pressure on the government to hold talks. J. Batangbakal directs the Institute for Maritime Affairs and Law of the Sea at the University of the Philippines. He said the Philippine President, Rodrigo Duterte, will likely try to negotiate a friendly settlement with the Chinese. But Batangbakal added, the Philippine public will expect its government to take a strong position on the issue and to get a positive result. If the two countries go forward with talks, analysts say, China is in a difficult position. It must decide whether to stay firm on claiming territory in the South China Sea or to find a diplomatic way out of conflict. Tung Seil-mun is a senior fellow at the Regional Strategic and Political Studies program under the ICS Yusuf Ishak Institute. He wrote in an email to VOA that China will try to establish its sovereignty by showing its military force. However, Tung said, such a show would only damage China's international reputation. He said talks with Philippine officials would give China a chance to improve its image. But even if the Philippines and China reach a deal later, another analyst noted that the U.S. and other countries will likely still insist that China follow the decision of the PCA. That decision says China does not have the rights to 12 nautical mile territorial waters around most of the South China Sea's islands and reefs. Kung Lingjie is Deputy Dean of China Institute of Boundary and Ocean Studies at Wuhan University. He told VOA the U.S. government will give a lot of pressure for the Chinese government to implement the award, but China, its policy and position is very firm. It wouldn't change even a bit. Kong added that China will follow the example set by the U.S. in 1986. At that time, the U.S. rejected an arbitration ruling reached by the UN's International Court of Justice. That ruling supported Nicaragua's complaints against the U.S. violations of its sovereignty. But the U.S. blocked enforcement of the judgment. In 1992, Nicaragua withdrew its complaints. I'm Ana Mateo.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Let men their songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills and plains repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat, repeat the sounding joy. No more let sins and sorrows grow, nor thorns infest the ground. He comes to make his blessings flow, for as the curse is found, for as the curse is found, for as the curse is found. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Let men their songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills and plains repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat, repeat the sounding joy. No more let sins and sorrows grow, nor thorns infest the ground. He comes to make his blessings flow, for as the curse is found, for as the curse is found, for as the curse is found. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing.